What's up YouTube? Damn, zephyr wargames. Bringing you my top 5 cards that I believe will have some change on this upcoming ban list. So we did receive a message from Konami saying no sooner than April, so be prepared for a ban list change. Now obviously we've seen in the most recent kind of big events, YTSs and stuff like that, that Dracos and Pendulum Magicians have still got a slight bit of dominance. However, this is probably the widest range of meta we've had for a long time. So I feel the changes that Konami need to implement should only be put in place in order to promote upcoming sets or in order to balance the upcoming sets out. So if there's any kind of combos or bases or stuff like that that comes out in the upcoming set that would be too busted, to adapt that. So in doing so, I have got you 5 cards that I feel are more likely to change on this ban list. Obviously there will be other cards that come off the list, change the list, stuff like that. These are the 5 that I reckon have a high chance of changing, and then there's 1 or 2 that I'm kind of like, I reckon they've got a fair chance to change, or I would like to change depending on what Konami are trying to promote. So, we'll start off with the first card on the list, and there'll be no surprise with the first couple, and that is, of course, Astrograph Sorcerer. So this card is busted. With Metaphor's Electromite, it is incredibly powerful. The fact that, even with the Wavering Eyes kind of combo where it could special summon itself after being searched for Wavering Eyes was crazy good. The fact that Metaphor's Electromite can really use and abuse this kind of makes it a bit unfair. So this I would definitely like to see go to at least 1. You know, I think 1 is fair because it still makes the deck playable. I don't want them to kill Pendulum Magicians. They've already got a big slap off the last ban list, and then of course they got Heavy Metaphor's Electromite that kind of took it to the next level and made it a little bit more competitive and better. But of course I don't want it to be too one-sided. I like the diversity in the meta. I like the range that we have. So don't kill it, just knock it to 1. But this will definitely have some form of movement on this ban list. I'll be very surprised if it doesn't. Next up, again, Masterpiece as well. This is the king of all Draco decks. Yes, you could argue that some of the draw power is very important. Do not hit Aminoato. Aminoato is a nice, fun kind of card, and I think it's very good when that was introduced into the deck. I think slow down Dracos. Okay, but the best thing is I don't want Dracos to be killed either. I don't want them to hit Diagram. This is the biased opinion in me. I don't want them to hit Diagram because then it stops stuff like any kind of True King deck. It stops 6 Samurais True Kings. It stops Cosmo True Kings. Anything that uses and abuses that. And I feel that that would kind of ruin too many decks. Whereas if you hit Masterpiece to 1, it balances it back out a little bit. Masterpiece is a massively bad pain in the arse. But what you've got to think with Dracos as well is if you were to hit Masterpiece to 1, you then have Ignis Heat at 1, you have Majesty Maiden at 3, and then you've got Darius. So they're not going to want to flood their board with Darius's or even the Mechatron. So to balance it back out, I would then say bring back Dynamite Knight to 1, just to see how it goes. Now this is one of the ones that, you know, it's probably not got as much of a high chance as Draco's being, Masterpiece being changed, but I still think there's a possibility that this could change on the ban list. Just to kind of, if we're taking 2 away from Draco, let's give them 1 back and see how they can operate then. It's a very nice anti-meta deck. I personally still want it to be playable, but then again, you do have upcoming decks that can use and abuse it. Another honourable mention I will say is it would be nice to see Speedroid Terratop come back to 3, just to kind of see that being played in the FA deck. So the FA deck can use and abuse it quite nicely if they wanted to, and it would be nice to see that combo play a little bit more now that zoos aren't as much of a dominating effect. But again, it then comes down to what Konami would like to promote. And speaking of which, what they would like to promote, we've got Trickster Reincarnation. Now, people are saying hit Droll and Lockbird, which again, I completely understand that. The way I see it though is Droll and Lockbird is a nice hand trap that is generic, that can be played in all decks and sometimes out most decks. The issue with the Droll combo is the Reincarnation. Reincarnation is a bustily painful card because obviously it's got the banish effect to revive as well as banishing your entire hand and then burning your opponent. And then being able to double reincarnate, Droll and Lockbird and rip your opponent's hand out completely is just too powerful and too unfair. Like, not only are they either going to burn you for an FTK or they're going to leave you with no hand to play with. It's too unbalanced, and I think Reincarnation definitely needs to get a hit. Yes, alright, they're not absolutely dominating the meta, but it definitely needs to be given a step backwards just to kind of balance it all back out a little bit. Tricksters, even in the OCG, are very powerful and they don't have Reincarnation at 3. They don't really need to worry about going reincarnating turbo. They do have a bit more play in them. And there are many deck pros out there of tricksters that can play without reincarnation. And I don't think this is good for the game, so it definitely needs to go. My last one, I put in this on all my ban lists, but this one actually has a bit more meat to the bone on this one, in the sense that if Konami wanted to import one of the Vrains cards and wanted it to be the Shaddoll cards, with Shaddoll Dinos around at this moment in time, this is an opportune moment to bring this card back to at least one. It's not as busted as it once was. There's many cards that have been introduced in the game since Construct was banned that can actually out-construct a lot easier. And not cause it as much, and this not be as busted as it is. And at 1, it's not going to be as consistently flooded. Then if you play it in Dinos, they're going to be wanting to use their Ogres a lot more as well, just to have the light fodder for this card. So that's one thing you've got to keep in mind. I think it would be very, very healthy for the game if Construct came back to at least 1, just so it could be tried out in Dino Shaddolls. Because, let's be honest, Dinos got a massive hit when they lost Miscellaneous Saurus to 1. That obviously hindered them a little bit as well, and slowed down their consistency, as well as Lithogasm as well. So being able to find the new kind of mix between the Dino Shaddolls has been very, very good for the game, especially with Overraptor coming back, or Overtex coming back, giving a bit more life to the Dinos. So it'd be very, very nice to have Construct come back to 1, just to kind of see how it plays out. Now, we all know Konami are going to bring back that one crazy card like Monster Reborn. I don't think Monster Reborn is that busted. I think it can be, but I don't think it's really adapted the meta to a huge scale that it needs to go ban it straight away. They can do, because obviously now the promo's ended over here in the UK, there's no need for it anymore, but I still think keeping it at 1 would be fine. So it would be interesting to see what kind of crazy one they bring back, whether it be Harpy's Feather Duster or Heavy Storm or something like that. That would be very interesting to see come back. Regardless, these are my 5 cards that I think will change on the ban list. These 3, Reincarnation, Masterpiece and Astrograph, are probably going to be more on the top of the list, that will have more probability of changing on the list. And then Dino Knight is just my personal choice. I don't want to see Dracos get killed. I still want them to be playable, but I don't want them to be as busted as they are. And Construct, again, a little bit personal, but I also think that if they were to bring the Construct Link or the Shaddoll Link in Flames of Destruction, this would be a great opportunity to bring this card back to 1. This could be their crazy brought back to 1 card, just to see how it operates in Dino Shaddolls as well. Or even pure Shaddolls again. But that is it for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Put below in the comments what you would like to see changed, or what you think will be changed most on the ban list. And until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. Also, YouTube, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left-hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings, and many more Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos coming up for you all year round. So don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always, guys, happy dueling.